Welcome to Immigration Update on the Air on Public Affairs. This is Awee Abayari, who is welcoming Attorney Jack Golan once again to our program, who has had this for many, many years, answering your questions about immigration. Welcome, Attorney Jack Golan.
Thank you for inviting me. It's always a pleasure to be with you and with your listeners.
Thank you. Attorney Jack Golan has had over 40 years of experience in immigration and nationality law. I hear there's great news, and this is what people have been watching for, the great news about immigration.
The great news about immigration is a passage of time. The calendar is moving. We are now, as we speak, about October 9, and in about 3 weeks, on November 4, we are going to have elections in the United States. President Obama promised about a month ago, at the end of summer, the first week of September, President Obama made a promise to do something very major in the matter of immigration immediately. Well, he didn't say immediately, he said after the elections. The elections will be on November 4. I hope and expect he will do it sometime during November. What we expect is that the president will announce a new program similar to the DACA program for students, for young people, which will be expanded and encompass many more people without age restrictions and without requirements that they be graduates of high school in the United States. We hope that this will happen sometime in November.
And when you mention this great news, this will be good news for how many millions of people?
Well, nobody knows the exact numbers. There are estimates of about 5 to 6 million people, out of whom approximately 1.5 million to 2 million people are in California, which means that our office will have a very long line from our waiting room to the street to take care of those people. Because what the president will hopefully grant those people will be not green cards, will be not a path for citizenship, but will be a privilege to stay in the United States legally, to be employed in the United States legally, and maybe even to travel in and out of the United States legally. These are three great privileges, and anybody who gets it really doesn't need any more a pass for citizenship.
Attorney Golan, so would you kindly enumerate more or less those people that would qualify?
Well, we don't know who will qualify, but if we take for a model, if we look for a model at the DACA program, which the president passed about 2 years ago, this applied to people who have been in the United States for 5 years and who didn't have any kind of, didn't have any serious criminal convictions, didn't have any serious immigration violations. Those people were granted the DACA cards. DACA is short for Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. We hope the president will simply expand this program to many more people without the age limitations and without the requirement to be graduates of high school in the United States.
You mentioned about DACA. Of course, this affects students from all the different countries, but what about the response of the Philippines?
The response of the Filipinos is very interesting. I have some statistics. Let me show you. Okay. A few months ago, these statistics were published, and they show that the number of the Filipinos who applied was only like 3,700. The whole country, nationwide, only 3,700 young Filipinos and Filipinas applied for DACA. On the other hand, approximately 470,000 Mexicans applied for DACA. I don't really know how to interpret those numbers. Does it mean there are so few Filipinos in the United States? Does it mean that all the Filipinos already got green cards? I don't really know what it means. All it means is that the number of Filipinos who took the trouble to apply was very small compared to the overall number of applicants.
Now tell us, Attorney Golan, those people who have applied during the early stage of DACA, have they been approved already?
Most of them have been approved. At the beginning, it took 2-3 months
Yes.
to get an approval. People may still apply today. There is no time limit for those applications. And if they, however, the time for processing application now has been expanded to approximately 6 months. If you apply for DACA privileges today, it will take you about 6 months to get the desired card.
Is it possible that some are just awaiting the petitions of their parents, and is that a good idea?
Well, you may sit back and wait for the petition of your parents, but in the meantime, you are losing opportunities. Because if you get the DACA card, you are able to get a social security number, you are able to get a driver's license, you are able sometimes to travel in and out of the country, you are able to find a good job, you are able to go to school. Okay? You are simply losing opportunities by waiting for your green card based on your parents' petition, which may take a few years longer. So I recommend, if you are eligible for DACA, take it.
Right, and call immediately, 213-383-3222 for consultation. Attorney Golan, by the way, can people have 2-3 different petitions?
It has always been the policy of the Immigration Service that people can be the beneficiaries of more than one petition. You can be the beneficiary of a petition by your parent, and you can be a beneficiary of a petition by a potential employer. Those two things do not clash. There are no contradictions. And whatever arrives first, based on the waiting list, whatever arrives first, this is a green card that you will get.
And I remember you mentioning before, it's always best also to have petition from both parents, correct?
If you are petitioned by your parents, it is better to be petitioned by both parents, especially if you are outside of the United States. If you are if you are in the US, it is less important, but if you are outside, it's very important. Why? Because when a petitioner dies, when a petitioner passes away, the petition dies with the petitioner. However, if you are petitioned by both parents, then at least the surviving parent can get you a green card.
Now, you mentioned earlier about no serious immigration violations or no serious criminal violations. What do you mean by serious criminal violation?
Well, a serious criminal violation will be considered anything that is a felony conviction, or what is considered by immigration a serious misdemeanor. Sometimes certain activities are charged and convicted as a misdemeanor, but immigration considers them seriously. For example, child molestation or maybe attempted arson. Okay? So those would be considered serious misdemeanors, and they will count against you.
What about driving violation, Attorney Golan?
Driving violations, if the violation is merely only driving without a license, will not be considered against you. However, if you have drunk driving and more than once, it for sure will be considered against you.
Is there such a thing as expungement from the record?
In California, there is an expungement. However, an expungement does not count for immigration matters. Okay, unless the law specifically says an expunged violation will not be considered. But mostly in regular immigration procedure, an expungement does not count.
One of the frequently asked questions is with regards to those people who are being petitioned, since they wait for a long time and they're unmarried and say that they are unmarried when in fact they already got married secretly. Is this something that the consulate will find out during the interview?
You are talking about beneficiaries who
Yes.
are in the Philippines, and either at the time of the parents filing the petition or during the waiting time, they get married. The American consul became very good at smelling out or fishing out such facts, And really, if the petitioner was an immigrant himself, not a US citizen, then the marriage invalidates the petition. Now, sometimes the beneficiary succeeds in hiding the fact of the marriage and succeeds in getting an immigrant visa and coming to the United States as what we call it, a married unmarried son. It's a married unmarried son or a married unmarried daughter. These people have a problem which may have a solution provided they immediately, upon arrival in the United States, refer to a good immigration lawyer to plan how to solve the problem, how to clean up this blemish on their record.
We have so many other immigration concerns that we have to discuss, but this will be for next time on Immigration Update on the Air. Attorney Golan, they can always call you and schedule for an appointment?
Certainly, and we give free consultations, and we advise people who come for the first time to bring their passports and to bring any paperwork they had previously done in connection with immigration matters.
And your telephone number is?
Our telephone number is 213-383-3222.
And of course, your address here in Wilshire Boulevard?
Our address is 3600-3600 Wilshire Boulevard, Suite 1118.
In Los Angeles, California. Well, Attorney Jack Golan has had over 40 years of experience in immigration and nationality. I have had interviewed him for so many years now on Immigration Update on the Air. Thank you once again, Attorney Jack Golan. This has been Public Affairs Immigration Update on the Air. Awee Abayari saying goodbye for now. Thanks so much for watching. Until then, may God bless you always.